Go ask Alice, August 7th. Mom and Dad think I should wait until next week to come home. I couldn't really argue because Gran needs me. But in the meantime, I'm not going to answer the phone or step off our property. Later, Jill called, but I told Gran to tell her I wasn't feeling well. It's pretty obvious, even to Gran, that I'm really not. I'm living with doubts and apprehensions and fears that I never dreamed possible. August 9th. The world has actually stopped in its orbit. My life is completely over. After dinner, when Gran and I were sitting out in the garden, we heard tappings at the back gate, and guess who, of all the people in the universe, stopped by? Roger and his mom and dad. They got back in the afternoon and heard about Gramps' sickness and had dropped by to visit him. I was beside myself. Roger is even more breathtakingly good looking than ever, and I wanted to throw myself in his arms and cry my heart out to him. Instead, we shook hands and I hurried to get everybody something to drink. Later, after we'd all talked for a while, Gran sent me in to get some chips and dip, and Roger followed me. Can you imagine Roger following me? He even asked me out. I wanted to die right then and there, and later, when we were out in the garden, he started telling me about how he was going to military school for the next year and a half till he was ready for college. He even said he was a little frightened and lonely about going away by himself for the first time. And he told me how he wanted to become an aeronautical engineer and work on new techniques for air travel. He's got some wonderful ideas. It's almost like reading Jules Verne, and he has so many plans for his life with the army and all. Then he kissed me, and it was what I had always dreamed it would be since I was in kindergarten. Other boys have kissed me, but it wasn't the same at all. This was fondness and liking and desire and regard and admiration and affection and tenderness and attachment and yearning. It was the most wonderful thing that has ever happened in my life. But now I'm sitting here and I feel sick to my stomach. What if he finds out about what I've been doing since I got here? How could he ever forgive me? How could he ever understand? Would he? If I were only a Catholic, maybe I could do some kind of terrible penance to pay for my transgressions. I was brought up to believe that God would forgive people's sins, but how can I forgive myself? How could Roger forgive me? Oh, terrors, horrors, endless torment. August 10th. Roger has called 4 times today, but I refuse to talk to him. Gran and Gramps want me to stay over a few days until I feel better, but I can't. I simply can't face Roger again until I get my thinking straightened out. Oh, how did I ever get mixed up in such a mess? Imagine losing my virginity 4 nights before seeing Roger again. The awful irony of it. But even without that, would he have understood the acid trips? Would he have wanted me after those? I hadn't really cared before, but I care now, and it's too late. I must talk to someone. I must find someone who understands about drugs and talk to them. I wonder if I could talk to someone at Dad's university. Oh, no, no. They'd be bound to tell him, and then I'd really be a mess. Maybe I could say I was doing a paper on drugs for a science project or something, but I can't do that until school starts. I think I better take some of Graham's sleeping pills. I'm never going to be able to sleep without them. In fact, I think I'd better take a supply of them. He's got plenty, and I'm sure I'll have a few bad nights at home before I get straightened out. Oh, I hope it's just a few. August 13th. It's all I can do to keep from crying. Mom and Dad just called to say how proud they are to have me for a daughter. There are no words to express how I feel. August 14th. Gran took me to the plane. She thinks Roger and I had a quarrel. She kept telling me everything would be all right and that it is a woman's place to be long suffering and patient and tolerant and understanding. Oh, if she only knew. Mom and Dad and Tim and Alex met me and all told me how pale and wan I looked. They were ever so gentle and loving. It's good to be home. I must forget about everything. I must repent and forgive myself and start over. After all, I just turned 15 and I can't stop life and get off. Besides, since I've thought about Gramps dying, I don't want to die. I'm afraid. Isn't that ghastly and ironic? I'm afraid to live and afraid to die, just like the old Negro spiritual. I wonder what their hangup was. August 16th. Mother is making me eat. She's fixing all my favorite foods, but they still don't taste like much. Roger wrote me a long letter asking me if I was all right, but I simply haven't the energy or the strength or the desire to answer him. Everyone is terribly worried about me, and in fact, I'm even terribly worried about myself. I still don't know if I'm pregnant and won't know for another 10 or 12 days. Oh, I pray I'm not. I keep asking myself how I could have been such an idiot, and there is no answer other than the fact that I am an idiot. A stupid, bungling, senseless, foolish, ignorant idiot. August 17th. I have used the last of Gram's sleeping pills and I'm a wreck. I can't sleep and I'm all screwed up, and mom is insisting that I go see Dr. Langley. Maybe that will help. I'll do anything. August 18th. I went to see Dr. Langley this morning and I really laid it on about my not being able to sleep. He asked me a lot of questions about why I couldn't sleep, but I just kept repeating, I didn't know, I didn't know. Finally, he broke down and gave me the pills. Actually, I don't need the sleep as much as I need the escape. It's a wonderful way to escape. I think I can't stand it, and then I just take a pill and wait for sweet nothingness to take over. At this stage of my life, nothingness is a lot better than somethingness. August 20th. I don't think the sleeping pills Dr. Langley gave me are as strong as the ones Gramps had because I have to take two of these and sometimes even three. Maybe it's because I'm so nervous. Anyway, I don't know how much longer I can last. If something doesn't happen soon, I think I'm going to blow my brains out. August 22nd. I had mom call Dr. Langley and I'm going to ask him for some tranquilizers. I can't sleep all day long and I certainly can't walk around like this, so I hope he gives them to me. He's got to. August 23rd. Tranquilizers are the greatest. This afternoon, I took one just before the mailman's arrival with another letter from Roger. Instead of getting all upset, I sat down and poured my soul out to him. Nothing, of course, about my acid trips or the speed, and surely not about Bill and my possible condition, but just about the important things that concern us both. I have even begun to wonder if maybe I could turn Roger on just once so he would understand. Could I? Could I make him take his first trip unknowingly as I did? Oh, I wish I dared. It seems like I've been held down for so long. Maybe it's the sleeping pills and the tranquilizers, but there are moments when I'd really like to just burst loose, but I guess those days are gone forever. I'm really confused. I wish I had someone to talk to. August 26th. What a wonderful, beautiful, happy day. My period started. I was never so happy for anything in my life. Now I can throw away my sleeping pills and tranquilizers. I can be me again. Oh, wow. September 6th. Beth came back from camp, but she's hardly the same person, and she met some Jewish jerk that she's going steady with. They are going to be together all the time, day and night. Perhaps I'm a little jealous because Roger lives so far away and school has started, and Alex and her noisy little friends are driving me crazy, and mom has begun to get on my back too. Today I went down to this great little boutique and found a cute pair of moccasins and a vest with fringe and a really great pair of pants. Chris, the girl who works there, showed me how to iron my hair, which I did tonight, and now it's perfectly straight. It's the greatest. The greatest, except mom couldn't stand it. I went downstairs to show her, and she said I looked like a hippie, and that she and dad and I must have a little talk some evening. I could tell them a thing or two because I imagine that sex without drugs isn't even the same thing as the mad, forever wonder of it when you're really way out there. Anyway, I seem to be doing less and less right. I'm getting so that no matter what I do, I can't please the establishment.